A woman's relationship with her father influences her perception of the masculine even after she becomes an adult. The unresolved trauma from your relationship with your father affects all aspects of your life, especially your romantic relationships. Hi, my name is Apurva. We discuss all things feminine energy and womanhood on this channel. So if you are interested, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn the notifications on so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. The trauma from your relationship with your father is referred to as the father wound. Father wounds are of different types. A very common type of father wound is that your father wasn't around when you were growing up. He was always busy, always working, and so you didn't really get any quality time with your father. Another type is when your father wasn't emotionally available, so he did not really express his affection towards you and he was somewhat distant. Another very common father wound is when your father loves you conditionally, which means that he has certain expectations of you, whether it has to do with getting good grades at school or once you grow up, he wants you to pursue a certain career. If you do what your father expects you to do, then he loves you. And if you do not do that and instead you follow your own dreams and pursue your own interests, then he doesn't love you as much. This type of father wound is more common with women who do not have brothers because your parents and especially your father expects you to do everything that he would have wanted his son to do. You want to be loved by your father, so if he expects you to do something, then you try to do it so that you can earn his love. When we are loved by the masculine, we feel safe, and feeling safe is a core feminine desire. Having a father who is overly critical and has extremely high standards can lead you to suffer from crippling perfectionism because you're continuously trying to be good enough to deserve his love. Also, you might have a father wound if you saw your father mistreat your mother when you were growing up. So if your parents did not have a very good relationship and you saw your father treat your mother badly, then it is possible that you developed certain beliefs about men, like all men are bad, all men abuse women, all men are cheats, all men are liars, etc. Also, if your mother spoke negatively about your father, then it could have affected the way you view all men. It is possible that you started believing that men cannot be trusted and that you cannot depend or rely on a man to keep you safe, and so you had to do everything yourself and be completely independent so that you do not get abused. Also, if your father has a very bad temper and you have always been very afraid of him, then two things could have happened. Either you became extremely sensitive to his temper, you were always very alert, and the moment you sense that he is in a bad mood or he's angry, then you created certain survival mechanisms, like you would try to make yourself invisible or just make sure that you did everything that he wanted you to do so that you wouldn't upset him and that you wouldn't have to deal with his anger. Or you could have tuned out of the situation at home and turned your attention towards your life outside of your home, whether it was school or other activities. But if you are super sensitive to your father's temper, then it is possible that you started sharing his ideas, his beliefs, his views, and his likes and dislikes because you just wanted to please him and make sure that he did not lose his temper, so that you could feel loved and safe. Doing this can hinder the process of individuation, which is essential as you grow up into an adult woman. It is one thing to have similar beliefs, ideas, and views as your parents, and another to make yourself think that you have the same ideas, views, and beliefs because you want to please your parents and you want to keep them happy so that they keep loving you. We live in a society that values masculine qualities more than feminine qualities. Your father is also part of the society, and so it is possible that he encouraged the masculine qualities that you have, but he did not value your feminine qualities. When your femininity is not respected and valued, then it is very natural for you to feel that being feminine makes you weaker than or inferior to men. So even if you are someone who has a feminine core, you start suppressing your feminine qualities so that you receive your parents, especially your father's approval. It is very common for our fathers to tell us that we should be completely independent and we should not need a man for anything. Now, even if this comes from a place of love and care, it has a very negative effect on how we show up as women. What we want to do or do not want to do, what we aspire to be or do not aspire to be, should come from our hearts and not from a place of fear. Perhaps your father has instilled such beliefs in your mind because deep down in his psyche he feels guilty. He feels that he has not been treating your mother really well, and maybe he feels that most men are like that, and he does not want his own child to suffer. When you are made to believe that you would not be safe if you were to rely on a man or depend on him for your well-being, then you start associating masculinity with something negative, something bad, or something that should be avoided. But at the same time, you are also encouraged to be more masculine yourself. A lot of women who are hyper independent are actually women who have a feminine core, but they were made to build a masculine shield around themselves because they wanted to keep themselves safe. They wanted to protect themselves. They did not want to get hurt. They did not want to be abused. But having this masculine shield means that you are trying to be someone that you are not. If you are a woman, you cannot become a man. Human beings are not meant to be independent. We are meant to help each other. Men are naturally better at certain things while women are better at other things. There is no shame in accepting help from a man. It does not make you inferior to him. Having a father wound can affect your romantic relationships negatively. Women who are hyper independent and who are more in their masculine energy do not feel safe to fully trust the men in their lives. Also, they tend to attract the more feminine men. These men do not really embody their masculine energy and they appreciate the masculine qualities that these women have, but they do not value their femininity. In such relationships, the woman is afraid of depending on the man to keep her safe, which means that she doesn't really feel safe in the relationship in general. Such relationships aren't very deep, and this is because the woman is not able to fully trust the man. She doesn't allow herself to fully trust the man. Also, Women who are more in their wounded feminine energy tend to expect their partner to give them the love that their father did not give them. Such women tend to settle for breadcrumbs. And if a woman did not have an emotionally available father, then she tends to attract emotionally unavailable men. In all the situations that I just mentioned, the women do not feel satisfied because the men in their lives do not meet their needs. Receiving your romantic partner's love is not the same as receiving your father's love. So if you did not receive your father's love, or he did not love you the way you wanted him to love you, then you can give that love to your inner little girl. Remember that you are the only person who knows how your inner little girl wanted and still wants to be loved. So, as an adult, you are in a position to love her that way, to fulfill all her needs. Every person, regardless of their gender, possesses masculine energy. And so, even as a woman, you can harness your masculine energy to provide protection, stability, and safety to your inner child. This does not mean that you shouldn't want your partner to make you feel safe and loved and protected, but you must not solely rely on him for that safety and protection. I am talking about having a sense of safety and stability within yourself. I am not asking you to operate from a place of fear by not wanting to rely on someone else. We can have a sense of safety and stability within ourselves and also be made to feel safe and protected by our partners. If your father wasn't emotionally mature enough to love you in the way you desired or needed to be loved, then you, as an adult, can now give that love to yourself. No matter how much your father may have hurt you, learning to forgive him would benefit you more than it would benefit him. Remember that you cannot forgive someone overnight. It is a process, it takes time. Also, do not make the mistake of thinking that you have forgiven someone without addressing the wounds that that person gave you. If you have been hurt by your father, then try to become aware of the ways in which he has hurt you. Becoming aware of those wounds would help your own growth because it would help you to understand how those wounds have affected the way you show up in the world. Healing your trust issues and knowing that you are safe to be feminine would help you to attract a strong, healthy, conscious masculine man into your life. Regardless of what you learned when you were growing up, remember that there are good men in this world, there are great men in this world, and you are safe to be feminine. Also, your femininity is valuable and you deserve to be valued for your feminine qualities by everyone, especially by the masculine, as by yourself. Comment down below and let me know if you found the video helpful, and give it a thumbs up if you liked it and share it with all your friends. Also subscribe to the channel, and other than that, thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.